forward and back.
All right, let's go. You're starting.
Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. My name's Ritchie, and I'm the program manager for the Aboriginal Advocacy program. And this is my work colleague, Louise Herft, and she's the strategic project officer manager, and we work for Age Rights Advocacy in Adelaide, South Australia. So we just want to showcase our service and how we deliver service to Aboriginal communities and elders across South Australia. So I'd like to do the cultural acknowledgement. We acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet here today, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. We pay our respects to their elders, past and present. And I just wanted to make mention, some of the photographs in our presentation have been made during our consultation period and meetings with elders. So we would like to just acknowledge that some of the elders have since passed away, and also just to acknowledge that family and individuals have given permission to use those images of their loved ones.
I'll give you a very short snapshot of our journey in providing services to Aboriginal communities in South Australia. When I first joined Age Rights Advocacy Service about 21 years ago, we were struggling to provide services to Aboriginal elders. In fact, I didn't see a single Aboriginal person come to our service in the first 5 years of my working at ARAS. And it was with a chance meeting with the Chief Executive Officer of the Aboriginal Elders Council of South Australia, Janine Haynes, that things started to happen. And she took me under her wing, and we travelled the country and of South Australia and met with all the communities, and I was introduced the proper way to Aboriginal communities, and I had to start delivering on the things I was saying I could deliver. So that was how we started. We were then encouraged by the Council of Elders to go with them and get some funding to employ an Aboriginal worker, another advocate, to work with me. And we were very fortunate, again, in getting a very well-known Aboriginal elder, Brian Butler, who's known to people all over Australia for his very distinguished work. And he opened many doors for us and put us on the map, really, in South Australia for Aboriginal services. So it went very quickly from being a pilot project to a recurrently funded program. And we've employed an Aboriginal advocate since 2003, and now the program's very ably led by my colleague Trischia. So that's how we've started talking about elder abuse in Aboriginal communities. Brian insisted that we talk about it, even though it was a very difficult subject to talk about, especially in the more remote traditional communities. He absolutely insisted I talk about it, and I did, and we went on meeting with elders in those communities and getting people familiar with the terminology of abuse, which is, art form in itself. So that was a lot of work there. And so we've gone from strength to strength since then, and now we are known in just about every community in South Australia. Okay.
Next. So I just wanted to talk about our core work, and so it's to promote elders' rights through information session, advocacy work. So speaking up for older people wherever they live, in community or aged care, providing advocacy support to elders experiencing abuse, promoting elders' rights through information sessions, linking and referring elders to services and organisations, and providing education sessions to service providers. So advocacy can be extremely challenging and stressful, but also the most rewarding part of our work, as it mostly produces outcome that elders want to have. And
I'll talk a bit more about the projects that we do, because the title of our presentation is It's Not Just a Project. So obviously we do a lot of work behind the scenes in providing everyday advocacy support to elders and providing education sessions to staff in services about elder abuse prevention and raising awareness, and also providing information sessions to community. And so apart from all of that work, we also do specific projects. And we've been very successful in getting funding for some of these projects. We started off with a community development project that was funded through the Attorney General's Department, and that was 10 years ago now. And we also have had some funding through the Office for the Aging, and we've created a DVD and a toolkit called the Positive Life Toolkit. One of my colleagues is talking about that this afternoon here. And we also hold these wonderful mentoring camps of Aboriginal elders and youth, which I think is quite a unique thing. I don't know any other organization that does that. And it's around the subject of elder abuse prevention. So Aboriginal elders and youth get together for a week of learning together and traditional methods of teaching elder to young person. And we've also been very fortunate just recently in being successful in getting some funding from the Stolen Generations Community Reparations Fund in South Australia to hold a summit of Stolen Generations elders to talk about elder abuse prevention. So we're really looking forward to that in October this year. And it's, I think, again, it's a first for the state and I think nationally as well. So we're very happy about that.
Excited about that and all the planning that goes around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we thought we'd just give you a glimpse of what the three different camps that we've had over the years. So I'm just saying if you'd perhaps like to go to our website and you could view those camps. So in March we shall be holding the 5th mentoring camp, and it's going to be in the beautiful region of the Coorong region of the Ngarrindjeri people. So as Louise mentioned at the camps, elders play a traditional role in teaching young people about culture, spirituality, respect of elders and championing of elder abuse prevention. So it's an intergenerational approach that we do this. The other thing that we do is also workforce resources, and so we've developed and promoted in the last year. This is the toolkit, and it's on active ageing and promoting a positive image of ageing for older Aboriginal people.
Okay. Next one.
This one.
So very quickly, because we have 2 minutes left, what are we going to do in the future? I think we're going to do very much what we've been doing for the last 10 or 13 years. We are going to continue to have a multifaceted approach to our work in elder abuse prevention in Aboriginal communities, because we know that it works. We know that our elders in South Australia are able to talk about elder abuse with the terminology that everyone here uses. We like the individual advocacy approach. We work one-on-one with elders and their representatives, their family representatives. We provide information to groups, as I said before, and to the community. And we continue to work with service providers to help them to respond to elder abuse, because they're the frontline people. And we will continue to run and develop projects that uphold elders' rights and make a difference to elders' lives. We know that new technologies are being used increasingly in Aboriginal services, but we are also aware that elders do not have all those tools, and this can be a barrier to them accessing services and getting in touch with people that may help them when they're experiencing abuse. So we will also use traditional methods like the mentoring camps and the yarning circles that we've done before in our projects. So that's about it, really.
That's about it. When we go back to South Australia, we'll be participating in a statewide forum with service providers across the region coming together, and once again we'll be presenting information about how we work to those service providers at that forum.
Yeah, I think in South Australia we're very lucky to have different levels of engagement. You know, we engage with government, we engage with service providers across the board, we engage with community, and I think that is a very successful way of working.
Thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions? I'd like to ask you a question.
Yes.
Yes. Somebody down here have a question? That's even better. Okay. My question is, how did you deal with governments? Did you have a buy-in? Because I know Brian Butler. Yeah. Did you have a buy-in because of having an influential Aboriginal person? So what would you give anyone to take away here today for the very first beginning of dealing with the government about this issue? Yeah, it's talking to bureaucrats, getting them on side.
Actually, we had a lot of elders that we had successfully advocated for going with us to government to ask for funding. I remember an elder from the Riverland that you know, Graham, who came with us to an Auntie Marge trip, who was actually in government at the time. And we had Auntie Agnes Rigney from the Riverland, who, you know, we had worked with in the Riverland, coming with us and saying, these people need the money to do what they want to do, and that we want them to do. And I think that was a fantastic support.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So it's using the community protocol with elders. Yeah.